Hey, what's up, Wagwan? Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time watching, welcome. If this is not your first time, welcome back, should I say. Um, I don't know, something kind of like the spirit a little bit moved me to speak on this recent situation that had happened over in, I believe it was over in Westmoreland, where a tourist or a lady that frequently visited um, the country of Jamaica. She basically was caught, I believe she was caught on the beach, and I could be wrong, so I don't really want to speak too much on the situation. This is purely just for my like my insight, my feelings, my thoughts about what happened. But just to kind of run it down a little bit, she was on a resort and she was acting what may have seemed as erratic to others, because I believe she was like naked or something like that on the beach or on the resort on someplace on the resort, whether it was on the beach or whatnot. She was dancing around naked and some sort of questionable behavior, to the point of where they were going to be taking her to the hospital, but they ended up taking her to the police station. Um, when she went to the police station, she had asked on multiple occasions to go to the restroom. She was taken to the restroom, escorted by a woman officer and everything. Then it was another time she had asked to go to the restroom. The woman officer was busy at the moment, so they had just told her to wait. And she basically rushed to the restroom anyway. And while she was inside of the restroom, whatever had occurred, by the time they were able to break inside or whatnot, unfortunately, this woman had appeared as if this woman had unalived herself by self harm, with something basically around this area, and a robe. So, of course, one is already something that is looked at differently because of, being in a different country, a foreign country, so to speak, and especially a country as this, with talks of and actually unaliving oneself, because this isn't something that's typical or normal. This woman was from, ooh, I always get myself messed up with when it comes to this area. I want to say the UK. She was from a European country. I want to say she was from the UK. But she was living in the state of California within the United States. Unsure how long she was living there or whatnot, but that's where she was living. She, like I said, she frequently visited Jamaica, and everyone that I have seen comments and heard comments in regards to her disposition, and I've always said that she was always just smiley, laughing, and joyful. My reasoning for speaking on this, like I said, I just one felt moved to do so. Two, it is sad. It's sad and unfortunate to hear that occurred, especially with thinking about the fact that people sat and commented on how joyful and happy she was. It makes it complicated. Complicated to really not so much as complicated, but it just makes me feel for her immensely, because that's what people thought and felt of her, to the point where they didn't really get to know. I don't know. I guess, shit, now I'm rambling. I guess what I'm saying is it kind of hit a little trigger with me personally. With my job that I, work on my regular job, my 9 to 5, so to speak, back in the States, I see a lot of situations with people trying to unalive themselves. And I can say that it's very intriguing to hear and see all of the different reasons of why, one of the main questions that they're asked is why did you do this, what would lead you to this, what would lead you to that. And about 9 times out of 10, everybody has a reason. And seeing these reasons of why, I'm not saying, like, in no way, shape, or form am I justifying it, so don't get it twisted. But seeing these reasons of why, I'm seeing things being repetitive. They're repetitive reasons. So you have some that have a hard time coping with the death and loss of loved ones that were close to them. You have a lot of people having a hard time coping with the financial situations that are taking place. I know I've said multiple times that it's hard. It's hard financially. It really, really is, just to kind of breathe and to live. And it's like you have to, I can't think of the word. Can't think of the word. You have to sacrifice. There you go. You have to sacrifice a lot of what makes you happy in order to just live. And I know personally, I am very grateful. I am so forever grateful to the people that have came in my life, or that are in my life, that have assisted me in any way, shape, or form, so that I am able to live. Because I mean, let's be real, financially alone, I couldn't do it. I could not do it with the way that everything has increased. The cost of living has gone up, like, ridiculously. And to be able to do that and be able to come, where I say come home, and regain my peace, it would be impossible. So I question and wonder, what kind of situations was this lady in, and if that was, had a factor on her or not. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But anywho, in reading a lot of the different comments, and like I said, and hearing different comments, sometimes I can't help but to feel some type of way, because you got a lot of people using terms and making assumptions on not only this woman, but in regards to people that have had maybe bouts of unaliving themselves, or just mental health in general. Just because we live in the United States doesn't mean we have access to everything that serves us well. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I see people come in and out of like medical facilities where, they're trying to get assistance and this and that, but in reality, it's just a repetitive cycle. I see a lot of people that have been there before, and then they come right back, with the same situations, same attempts, or whatever the case is. I've also seen some that not only made the attempts, but they were successful in those attempts. And then you have to look at what the aftermath is just from that beginning standpoint, like the immediate standpoint with the family or with friends and stuff. And it's like, wow. You can receive as much help as possible, but if you're not receiving the proper help, it's not going to resolve anything. I know I can stand on or come speaking on this from a standpoint of having an experience with that personally, where, I had thoughts and attempts and stuff like that. However, I had to bust my ass, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I had to bust my ass to ensure that I was being helped by the proper people, by the proper team, to get me on a wavelength of where I could think for myself independently, think independently. Where there was a moment in time where I was on medications for like anxiety, for depression, and those types of thoughts of unaliving myself. But you can't just be on those medications and then simply come off. You wing yourself, like you gradually get on the medications. And if they have to increase, they gradually increase along with still receiving additional assistance on the side. Like whether it's therapy or psychiatry or whatever the case, you have to have a team. It's a team. It's not just even a one person thing. So before you speak on those types of things of what people need, make sure that you are informed and educated of what what comes together to make a successful transition. I've noticed that it's hard to even obtain a therapist now. It's hard to even obtain a psychiatrist. It's hard to get a good medical doctor, a primary care doctor that gives a damn. It's hard. It's very hard. So imagine for people that don't have insurance or anything like that, and they are out here and they just were given a prescription and just like, here you go, figure it out. You you have a lot of people that are just numb. And when they come out of that numbness, that's when you start to see them be repetitive visitors inside of these facilities. And then what do? We just give them a prescription and send them on their way again until they come back. It's tough. It's tough. I could only imagine that a lot of people come to different places or foreign places like Jamaica trying to escape, but they don't have the ability to cope. They don't have the ability to identify what they need in order to make successful transitions and thoughts, as they return back to their home countries or whatnot. But then, even if you do have that ability, do you know how hard the transition is coming from, I'll use myself, coming from my peaceful place of Jamaica. And I mean, granted, I still run into BS and nonsense and stuff while I'm in Jamaica, but it is not even as nearly half of the same that I deal with when I go back to the States. I was going somewhere and I totally forgot where I was going with that. Please forgive me. But my transition coming from Jamaica going back to the States is complicated. It's hard. It's hard as hell. But I have those mental tools to be able to kind of get myself back in there. And that's all in thanks and gratitude to the team that I had previously. I've had a few others along the way, like in regards to my team, and I'm talking about medical professionals, where I've been able to take tools that I've learned from each of them or whatnot and be able to apply it going forward so that I'm able to deal with things differently. And then, as well as the simple fact that I know what I need to do in my personal life, and I'm actively doing so in order to be the best version of myself. Even if that includes removing myself, not unaliving myself, but removing myself from my current environment, which is the plan. If you watch any of my videos, you know that that's been the long-term goal. I wish everybody had that type of ability, but they don't. But it doesn't, who am I as a person to sit and chastise or speak negatively or ill against these people who aren't able to process this information to do so? All I can do is, if someone approaches me in any way, shape, or form in a personal manner, all I could do is allow my maker to guide me, to assist in any way, shape, or form. If I'm unable to, then I mean, by all means, I only did what I could. But with that, in guiding anyone, that includes me being kind. It includes me embracing the best way that I can, out of love. Sometimes somebody just wants love. They don't want to be judged. They don't want to be criticized. And they surely don't want to hear your negative comments. There's a lot of people, and I notice especially in the United States. I mean, I'm not saying that they're nowhere else, because I've heard some of them here in Jamaica too, but whatever the hell. Who don't even realize they say things before before even realizing it, that can send somebody over the edge. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut up sometimes. Just shut up. Be of assistance that you claim that you are, instead of running your mouth, speaking negatively and ill about a lot of these people who just don't have the proper ability. My heartfelt condolences go out to this woman. I don't believe I've ever met her. I don't think I've ever met her in person. But to bring more humanity to her, her name was Miss Justine, to maintain the privacy of her family and herself. I will not go into saying her whole name, but if the family of Miss Justine is watching this, my condolences to you. My heart goes out to you. I hope that you go through your process of healing, because this is not going to be an easy thing to get over at all. You don't ever get over death in general, but you don't get over situations like this at all. I don't believe you do. All of her friends that loved her dearly, my condolences to you as well. I am sorry that you are going through this. I am sorry that you are hearing and seeing a lot of these negative comments and unwelcome feedback and commentary. My heart goes out to you, and my heart goes out to anyone that's dealing and coping in general. Life is not easy. Life is not easy at all. And I don't know. Just be kind. Be kind and keep yourself in mind when dealing and talking to other people. Easy as said. Bye.